There are many people who have no vision of the future, who cannot see past their own trivialities, their own issues, their own problems. Some people become way too ingrained in their own issues that they cannot see what surrounds them. They cannot see much bigger issues or much bigger picture of things. Okay, it's Lissandro here, and this is another blog. So the reason I decided to do this blog is mainly because of a particular video I came across a few days ago. This was before 2017, before New Year's Day, and this video is from the Amazing Atheist, and I generally like a lot of his videos. I've been following him for years now, and the video is called "The Obsolete of Humanity." Now, why am I focused on this? Why am I focused in this particular topic? And mainly, there are a bunch of reasons, but foremost, it's has to do with things that affect us. We may not see the immediate effect of this, but it will eventually affect us in the long run if things remain the same, unchanged. And in reality, it's one possible scenario, one possible future, like some people like to refer to it. But what I want to focus on is this. This is in reference to AI technology, the whole age of automation, as some people like to call it. Why am I focused on this? Because it's relevant to my career. It's relevant to what I do as a living. For those of you who don't know, I am a computer engineering student. I'm actually more like an intern. I majors in computer engineering, mainly in software engineering, and minor in organic chemistry and genetics. So, what I like about this video is that it focuses on certain topics in which it questions a lot of things. For the longest time, technology has aided, if not been a crutch for humankind. But as of late, because of the where we find ourselves in this era, it has raised the question of whether or not later on in the future some of these advancements would become a benefit. And what I mean by benefit of technology is that think back to the point when we were nothing more than Neanderthals. A lot of us died out. A lot of people died out. The expectancy of life was short in contrast to now. It was mostly about survival of the fittest. Those who the whole thought that only the strong survive. But the thing is, if you introduce technology into the equation, it introduced things like, for example, the discovery of fire, the invention of the wheel, and other things, such as weapons, tools, and so on. Then what happens is that you improve the expectancy of life. You live a lot longer. And so came along things like the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, the Industrial Age, not the Industrial Age, Iron Age, Industrial Revolution, the whole digital age, and then and as technology progressed, each time we pretty much crossed a new horizon. Where we once thought that flying in air was impossible, it now is seen like something very common, and that's where we find ourselves today. But the thing is, we have gotten to a point in which pretty much we don't rely that much on ourselves to be able to do things for ourselves. In reality, there are other things that do it for us. And what I mean by that is this: where once you where once you had to walk to a certain distance, you now have cars to take you anywhere. And as a matter of fact, that's um, we got into the point where we no longer need to drive to get to buy a particular thing. We just have to get it ordered for us, and it's at our doorstep. We have gotten so advanced to the point where pretty much a lot of the things are taken care of by either other people or machines or any automated systems, technology, and so on. And the Amazing Atheist does make a really valid point. What happens when we cross into the point where humans are no longer as efficient in contrast to machines to doing what they do? What happens when we get to a point where we're no longer as efficient at doing certain things? Will we become obsolete? And the best way to I can think to address this little topic is something that my father told me once, that with every progress comes its negative counterpart. And what I mean by that is this: where you once relied on a group of workers to be able to manufacture a certain number of products, you now have machines that can do it even more efficiently and more cost effective. You now have cars that are unmanned, and who knows, you might have aircrafts that are unmanned. But it's like the Amazing Atheist said, where do you draw the line in regard to this? Can you rely something really important in the hands of an AI and hand over to AI? And the thing is that a lot of the scenarios that when people think of AI, and I even had a friend of mine think of this, when they think of AI, they think of robots, killer robots, and Terminator, and so on. And that's, but the thing is that in regard to a group of workers versus the machine always wins. The machine, in this case, the machine always wins because of its cost effectiveness, its ability to do the work much more efficiently. In regard to the whole deal with quote unquote killer robots, it's also a plausible scenario. Suppose you have an AI that's in charge of something really important, and a virus infects it. Then you have a serious problem there. Suppose you have an AI that's in charge of like certain patient health, things like that. Then it gets hacked or anything like that. Because the fact that there are back doorways into automated systems like this, then it makes them unsafe. But does that keep technology at bay from rendering us obsolete? No, it doesn't. Because the fact is that because there are needs to do things, and because of its availability to be able to produce a lot more efficiently, then more and more companies, more and more people are going to be using AI. But the thing is that that's no problem. The problem is when you start introducing sentience. When you introduce sentience, one of the questions I got asked from a person, and even I have asked myself, is that if you introduce AI, one of the possible scenarios is because sentient AI has the capability of mimicking human behavior, then do we really want human problems to be mimicked in a machine? That's one of the questions I have asked myself. And even though I do like the idea of AI automation, I do like the idea of living in a digital age. There are always going to be drawbacks in everything, and it's like I said earlier. It has its negative counterpart. Everything has its negative counterpart. You take it for example, a knife. A knife can be used as a tool, but it can also be used as a weapon, and vice versa. And even though you create something with a certain intent, it doesn't mean that people have to use it with that intention. It's just because you manufacture an axe with the intent to cut down a tree, it doesn't mean that people are not gonna use it as a weapon, and that's the negative counterpart. And I dare you to name anything that was created in good purpose, and I'll point out its flaws or its drawbacks. Every progress has its negative counterpart, its drawback, and that's what the deal is with every technological advancement, every scientific discovery, or any new innovation. It has its negative counterpart. But as far as things go in regard to humans being obsolete, it's something that's really too early and too hard to say, because the thing is, it all depends if people are willing to draw the line. Where do we go from here? What do people do later on? Because the thing is that people could do a variety of different things. For example, the whole deal with like cybernetics, being able to essentially link human parts to mechanical parts, being able pretty much to join your body with a machine. And what I mean by this is, for example, let's say somebody got their arm amputated, and you are able to implant a cybernetic arm in which you can move it at free will, like if it's your own arm. Let's say people go so advanced into creating an arm that can essentially have every exact function of your original arm, or probably even better. That's what I mean. Or let's say humans are able to pretty much go in regards to like medical science, get advanced to the point where your body can be altered, fixed, or changed as easily as it were to change the parts from a car. When we get to a point like that, it's when it's time to start asking questions. When it's time to start asking, what will the value of human life be? When we get to a point where we can be fixed as easy as cars, will people put a price tag on our lives? Will people start marketing body parts like if you're referring to like car parts or anything like that? That's another question. And in reality, personally, in my own, if I were to take an educated guess, I wouldn't say humans will become obsolete, but as far as things go, I would say that humans might become something else. It's just many possibilities, many possible futures, many routes, or we might not even get there. We might like completely eradicate ourselves long before we even get to that point. And it's like I said earlier, social problems, in my own opinion, tends to retard human progress. Arguing over really stupid shit that doesn't even matter. And why I say this, because it's like when like somebody once said, when shit hits the fan, none of that matters. None of that really matters, and that's why that's part of the reason why I don't get that involved in human issues. Only when it involves like things like human life, things like that, when it starts messing with vital things, then that's something else. That's something really different. But anyway, I guess this is all for now that I'm gonna say, because this is all that I can in reality relate into this. One of the things that I run into an issue now is that while I may have a variety of different ideas that comes to mind, I tend to forget some little details here and there. If I start saying like uh, various details over certain things, the video starts getting excessively long, and that's something that I really don't want. Why? Because it's video becomes really hard to process, and a variety of different things happen. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.